Garden. My name is Bart Brechter. I am head of Gardens and Landscape for the Museum of Fine Arts Houston. And today we're going to talk about a plant that is probably one of the oldest cultivated plants in the world. We're going to talk about the rose. Being that it's so close to Mother's Day and rose is a perfect gift, expression of love, roses seem to be a fitting topic for today. I'd like to talk about, though, really the history of the rose and why the rose is so thought of as this gift of love. Well, about 2,000 years ago, a Persian princess noticed that in the rose water there was an oil layer on top. From that observation came rose oil, or the perfume from the rose. And so the roses started to become very valuable in our society and for us, first as a perfume. But as we go through history, the rose became to be developed and hybridized, and we got roses that were more appealing, prettier roses, bigger blooms, and more fragrance. Then they became part of the family, as you would have a rose, and if you were to move, or if somebody, more importantly, would get married, that rose would be given to your family member that was married. So it became a part of the family and really represented you as a family member, and that rose specifically. Going on through history, during World War I, the rose played an important role in helping people to get vitamin C. So the orphans in World War I in England would go out and would harvest the rose hip, which is the seed capsule of the rose. The seed capsule itself is very high concentrate in vitamin C. And so they would eat the rose hip, and it would provide them an important nutrient throughout World War I. So as we get through all of the history going forward, we now have roses today that provide pretty much anything you're looking for. The newer varieties, knockout roses, bloom continually, but yet lack the fragrance. But you can also get roses and plant them in your garden specific for the fragrance. The rose behind me is Belinda's Dream. It is very, very fragrant, very versatile rose for your garden. There are many different types of roses. You have hybrid teas. You have floribundas, which bloom more. And then you have the antique roses that you can get that have experienced less hybridization. So roses, you can provide anything you want in your garden. Now, when you do purchase this rose, how are you going to tend or care for this rose? Today we're going to talk a little bit about caring for a rose. If you were to buy a rose, you want to plant it in your cultivated bed. That you'd want to plant it high if you live in the southern states. In doing so, you would then mulch it very, very heavily, really 3 inches. That provides a very good barrier between the sun and the soil to cool the roots and provide enough moisture for the rose. The mulch also does a very important thing, and that keeps down diseases. Most of the diseases for the rose come from the soil. The black spot has a lifespan that lives in the soil and then would transfer to the leaves. If you have a heavy mulch layer, that helps to break that cycle, and you get a healthier bush. Also, you get to water less with the mulch layer. Roses love to be fertilized. They're very heavy eaters in the nutrients in the soil. So I would recommend fertilizing in the growing months. That's in the southern states from about April through September. I would fertilize every other month. Prune them back heavy in the spring, and then lightly prune to shape throughout the rest of the year. Roses bloom on new growth, and so the more you bloom the more you prune to encourage new growth, the more they bloom. Well, this has been a very short but very insightful look at the rose. This weekend is Mother's Day. Please encourage you to come out to Baobin or Rienzi, where after 1 o'clock mothers are free, and enjoy the roses that we have at these gardens. Thank you very much for your time and for tuning in to me today. This is Bart Brechter. Come back and see us again.